first, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fun. I
Thank
just
you.
known you. Oh, and by the way, Haroula's.
I have a +1.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah.
February.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. Wow. So, God, I'll ask some questions. I mean, get ready with a question if you want to ask, but we'll just talk for a little bit.
Thanks for doing this, by the way.
Oh, you kidding?
It's not like you
kidding?
don't
I
have
really
other
liked your
things
first
going
film.
on in your life right
I
now.
really liked your first film so much.
Thank you.
And talk about the evolution from that to this. Did you, it's always like, what film do you want to do next? And what about that film did you want to, not make? I mean, this is very family, domestic. That film's very different.
Yeah,
in a way,
so it's true. Yeah, it's pretty different. I would say it was
I kind of
really-
like that. You just went a whole nother way here.
Yeah. Well, two things. I just like it when people are sort of non-denominational. I know that's not like the usual thing, but you know all about that. And I felt like I wanted to try making something lighter that wasn't just like crying on set, but rather maybe having some fun.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be too precious about, your second movie. Everyone's like, oh, your first movie, and then what's your second movie going to be? And I was just like, I just want to keep making them. So Kobe, who's my co-writer and a producer on this, was an actor in the first one. He was the Uncle Cal in Once Upon a River.
Right.
And we just wanted to write something together. I had this instinct that we could write something fun. And when the pandemic rolled around and we had all this time, we started to bat around ideas. Like, how do you make something about masculinity and femininity and family, but not being too righteous or anything? And like, we were all so like living with our families at that time.
Oh boy.
So it was just kind of, it like started to become very organic. And then we got to a draft that we were proud of, showed it to some producers, had a reading with actors, and it honestly flowed. Like, I hope every movie could be this easy.
It just came, the way it came together.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thanks.
on that.
It was
that's
definitely way easier than the first one, and probably way easier than maybe any other one, but we'll see.
Well, in a way, you deserve that. You made a film that people liked, and if there was any question about you as a director, we'll talk about your background. I know music, singer-songwriter, but acting and,
Well, I've done a little of a lot. And then I remember after college, I got hired at a post-production facility doing music. And then I would meet these people who were directors, and they'd say, oh, you should think about film school if you're interested. Because I was doing an internship at Steppenwolf and working at like a casting office and doing all these.
From Chicago, by the way. So this is the hometown thing.
Yep.
But keep going. Sorry.
Totally. And so I was doing all these things trying to learn, and then these guys would say, well, you should think about being a director if you like all those things. It's a way of being this like generalist in a hyper-specific way. And I didn't even know film school existed. Like, I just felt like I, was late coming to all that stuff in a way. And then wanted to start making my own short films. And I went to film school for a bit, but I didn't finish. I was just wanting to like make stuff.
Yeah, just go off on your own.
Yeah.
Wow. And so this was a pandemic. Did you know at the beginning, you said you had a desire to write with an actor? You assume you liked working with them as an actor, but just thought they'd be a good collaborator?
Yeah, there was just something about when we were working on some scenes together. Once Upon a River had all this like sensitive content, and it was just easy and fun, even though it was difficult at times. And just the way we would be discussing some dialogue, I had this sense that he'd be a cool person to write with.
Kind of funny, like you were.
Like there was just something really easy.
It is what clicks between two people.
Totally.
And you're like, oh, we bring out the best in each other,
And it was like that the whole way, like writing together. And it was a really nice reprieve during that time when we were all isolated. So we'd meet up and write, or we'd do it over.
But your initial thing is like, I want to make a family dynamics, fucked up family kind of thing. Had that been brewing for a long time?
Yes. Yeah. And also, I know, right?
Yeah.
And also just, this is the unromantic part. It's just like doing something doable, as you know, with an indie film or an indie budget. So we're like, okay, COVID protocols, COVID compliance officers. Oh my God, like how do we make something that's limited locationally speaking, but still interesting?
This was a COVID production too.
Yeah.
Oh, so masks and tests and all that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad I avoided that. It sounds awful.
Oh my God, my DP got it the second week. It was
of course.
insane.
Yeah. Then,
So we had
did
to
you-
like bump up our camera, our B-roll
Okay.
operator to being the DP that second week, as if you
Wow.
don't have enough shit to deal with, you know.
I know. Oh my gosh. Wow. So you took that on, but I guess it worked. Did it help actors' availability? Were they more available?
Yeah, that's.
I want to talk about the cast a lot. 'cause
Totally, yeah.
They all
It-
seem so kind of perfect. How did you go about getting some you'd worked with before?
Yeah, so Rob Huebel, the brother,
Mm-hmm.
I really liked his voice and just could hear him saying these lines.
Yeah.
And there's something just, again, perfect about how I could imagine like his cadence and how he would say things. And he
So
was
you
the
wrote
first
with him,
person.
Wrote with him in mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that sure makes it easy, doesn't it?
it was cool. And
If you can get that actor.
I know, and I happen to know, this is so weird, but I like happened to know one of the people that he worked with, and I was
Okay.
like, is he interested? Like, would he do a movie? We don't have any money, but we
Yeah.
have this great role for him.
The
and-
usual thing. Yeah. It's like,
And he was like, send it over. And then he actually like read it that day, and we
Yeah.
Zoomed like 2 days later. I love that guy. It was so
Isn't
cool.
that awesome? I
Yes.
mean, actors are the best. They want to dig in on material and interesting characters. They really
Yeah.
don't. At the end of the day, no one really cares about the money and all that. It's just
Yeah.
like just make it work with their life somehow
was
if
cool.
they can, if they're available, you know.
And I knew John Ashton could slay this role.
Yeah.
Um,
Can't imagine.
and we'd already worked together, so he was
Mhm.
like, anything for you. Let me know where and when,
Aw.
you know. And it was just amazing, and
Oh gosh.
I miss him a lot.
Yeah. So he just passed away. Not how long ago?
3 weeks ago.
Holy shit, guys. Yeah, I saw the obit in the paper. I was like,
Pretty crazy.
oh, it must be tough to watch.
It's hard, yeah, because he was very like, I only am gonna watch the movie once. He never really wanted to watch his
a
work.
lot of
and
actors are like that.
so I was like waiting to show it to him at a screening like this, like at a premiere at a festival, and then he had all this other filming to do and Beverly Hills Cop stuff, and so we were
Mhm.
planning on this fall being the time that we could all be like hanging out together,
Oh,
and then he didn't make it. So
gosh.
I sent him a link to his wife while he was in hospice, so I think he saw it there, but it's still not the same. I mean, the whole
Yeah.
thing is just really
Oh,
hard. You know, we were texting one day, and then he was gone a few days later, and I'm still
man.
kind of not
Yeah.
fully like wrapping my head around it. Actually,
Yeah, I've done that before. Work with an actor and they pass away while you're in post production and stuff.
yeah, it sucks.
Something about, yeah. Well, I mean, it can happen to any actor,
I mean,
but,
yeah.
but older actors especially. You know, it's like you don't know.
He was just
It's
so wonderful, and he like elevated everyone's.
Yeah, he seemed like he had a
performance and-
good time too.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Did he like that
and-
fight?
Yes,
like punch
he
that guy?
loved the
At
fight.
that age, it's really fun to punch someone out.
Yes, he loved the fight. I have this one regret that there's no scene with him laughing in it. He had this amazing laugh. There's some scenes with him laughing in River, so I'm okay.
Mhm.
But he had this great hearty belly laugh. So and Becky
Yeah.
Ann Baker initially said she was going on a family vacation and couldn't rearrange her schedule, but she was the one who we wanted the most too. So I was really like grieving that, and then a couple weeks go by, and then she hit us back up and was like, no, you know, I really want to do this movie. I'm going to postpone this trip. And we were like, yes.
Oh gosh, that's
That was
great.
amazing. And Josh Radnor, I had a song on How I Met Your Mother like 12 years ago.
Okay.
And that music supervisor used to make CDs for the cast of the music in the show. And he just like really liked my song and was playing it at his house. And another friend was there and said, oh, do you know Haroula? You guys should meet. You'd be friends. And he was like, no, I really like her song. And she introduced us, and we just became fast friends and had always wanted to work together. So it just kind of happened all really organically. And like I was saying, Michael Shannon gave us some money up
Yeah,
top.
I see his name in there.
He was friends with Kobe from their old theater days and
Wow.
wanted to support a homegrown production. It was amazing. So, you know, as you know, probably like when you have your first bit of money, it's just easier to get the rest. And
Yeah.
having his name was really super helpful also.
Wow. Note to filmmakers out there, to be a likable person people want to work with and to be friendly with, it helps. It helps.
He was
You know,
really, really,
that's
it was
so
amazing.
sweet,
Like
yeah.
that one email, like, what do you need? Some scratch? We were like, yeah.
Michael, you got a little scratch. Some
I don't even think
scratch.
there was a question mark on it. It was just like, you need some scratch? And we're like, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
But so the production value is there. Like, what was your budget and schedule? And I mean, basic questions here, but
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I think it was just under 800,
Mhm.
and we had 25 days. And 2 of those days were like the Josh only days, like when he first got there, because there's a lot of stuff with him alone.
Yeah.
While we were getting other people situated, and luckily cramming in like the tiniest bit of rehearsal when we could.
Right.
And then the rest of the cast was all locals except for like David Pasquazi's an improv legend, and Colleen Camp flew in because
Say
she's
which
a
character
riot.
they're playing.
Oh,
David's
David's the guy who gets punched. He's Jerry.
he's the groper or whatever.
Yeah.
he's
And then Cassie, his wife, is a local actress who's wonderful and so
Mm-hmm.
funny. And Colleen Camp plays the agent. And
she's
flew
wonderful.
in.
I've met her before. She's
Yeah.
a character. Now, did you know her before and just
I
said, hey,
did.
you got to come?
Yeah, I knew her from when I first moved to LA. And she was so cool. She would like come to my concerts and like
wow.
was wanting to see my short films. And like so many people are a little bullshitty, and she like actually watched them and like would send me a sweet text or something. And
Oh,
I mean, it was amazing. She's so cool.
Yeah.
She like has a lot of history. You know, she's one of the 3
Yeah.
women in Apocalypse Now.
yeah,
And she
seems
was in
great.
Clue, and she's just like kind of been in everything, it feels like.
Yeah,
And
what a
so when
life,
she
what a
said yes, we
career.
were so thrilled.
Yeah, it looked like they were having fun.
Yes.
That little,
Yeah. That was a fun little trifecta of like the posse of older ladies who were like
Yeah.
going to go kick some ass.
exactly. I like that shot where you do the slow motion walk too. It's kind of a joke. How'd you get Rodney?
Oh, Rodney. So he was. This is an interesting story too. So Smoke, the old man in Once Upon a River, you know, washed up musician, living life on his own terms, wanting to be, you know, free in his way, and dying of emphysema, but still smoking like a chimney and stuff. His name's Smoke, and he we had gone to John Prine actually, and he obviously had some issues and couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Chris Christopherson, unavailable. Rodney also was like, I want to do it, but then he had some health issues and some tour stuff. And then J.D. Souther, and he was.
Oh gosh.
I know, and that was a double
Wait,
whammy
this is
too.
an obit list.
Yes. So it's like kind of insane. So J.D. obviously passed away a couple weeks
Weeks ago.
before.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't that
Before
long
John,
ago.
and so
Yeah.
JD and Rodney both wrote songs for my first film because they really wanted to be in it, and then for whatever reasons
Oh.
couldn't in the end.
Yeah.
And then they still
Would
wrote
John
these beautiful
Prine have done it?
songs. John
Did you go
Prine,
out
he had read it and we had talked about it, and then he was not well enough to actually do it.
COVID, man, that was yeah.
And then John did it, and he, like I said, he was maybe about 40 when he was told like you need to stop drinking or you're going to die. So he'd already lived many lives before that, but he, I guess, made
Wait,
up
they
for
told
it.
him that
His
decades ago.
doctors back in the day, yeah.
Okay.
So he became sober.
They
He
told
still had
Bukowski that too.
cigars.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, and then John ended up playing this role and played the role of Smoke. Wait, where was I going with this? Oh, how did I know John? Rodney.
Yeah, well,
that's
hell,
right.
he ended up in
Yeah.
the music.
So
slot.
Rodney ended up writing this amazing song for the first film, and we've been friends ever since. And so I was like, would you be in a cameo with Becky? And we didn't know
Oh,
if
that's
Becky could
great.
sing.
You got all
and
these friends. You
so
got the music world and the film world. It's
I
fun.
want to
You
make
cover-
a
got it covered.
music-based movie next. I really do.
Yeah. Well,
So
musicians are good actors a lot, you know.
Yeah,
They're
totally.
performers, so it's a good start.
yeah,
Kind of the personality and usually some kind of unique
it's a nice
presence.
attitude too.
And
like
you yourself being a musician, and I mean, you must kind of
it's
you must
nice.
respect that.
So much crossover, really.
Yeah, it
like
really
you have a
is.
plan, and then you got to be willing to be open and improvise, and things come up, you know. So
Do you
I
think
feel
your
like
direction in making a movie? Do you see a musical corollary the way you make the movie in a way? Do you think in musical terms, besides script,
think
acting,
so.
and everything? I mean, are you?
I mean, I think so in a couple of ways, like where I think it's so many parallels, right? Like you get the material and then you chop it up or edit it later, but also just in terms of process, making it more cyclical. Like I really like to involve the songs and the composer up front, not just in post. So like for Smoke had a theme, and when I would drive John to set, because on the first movie we had like really no money for everything it was, I would drive him to set some days, and he'd be like, I want to listen to that piece of score for his character, especially on the day where he, spoiler, where he dies in the movie. And it it was just nice having that as an additional tool. So I really like having the music in that front end. And it's really helpful, I think, for actors to have it sometimes.
And the young actor who's transitioning, that's an interesting casting choice. I was like, wow, that's perfect casting? Or is that
Yeah.
what's, did you open audition for?
We had a
teen
bunch of Zoom meetings, and we had and there was all local. Like I was saying, everyone else was local because a bunch of our budget was just like flying people in and putting them up of the main cast and the location itself. But the rest of everyone was local except for Colleen, and Rodney drove up from Nashville for like a day. But Ivy was also moving to Chicago to go to college. And she had been an actor as Ben O'Brien, and this is her first role as Ivy, transitioning in real life as well as in film. So that like synchronicity was very interesting and cool. And she actually told me this a couple weeks ago in Chicago at a screening there, that she was like, yeah, some of those scenes were so real and raw for me because they felt like my real life even at the time that I was going through. So who knew?
Yeah,
you know, it just like worked out that way. But we had a Zoom, and she just had the right presence and kind of awkwardness as a teen and stuff.
All that.
Yeah.
But with the complexity of that.
Yeah. You know, she's a great writer. She's making her own films.
What
now,
incredible timing, though. I was just kind of marveling at it, looking like, wow, but what an interesting record for her. You know?
Yeah, she was Lucas Hedges' brother in Manchester by the Sea.
Okay,
and a couple other movies with the name Ben O'Brien, but now she's Ivy.
Wow. So, any questions? Here we go. Yeah.
Great film. Do you have distribution?
Yeah, so
talk about
that's been a really interesting experience, actually, because they're like amazing. They put it in like 40 theaters and supported it. It was almost like having a producer, but on the distribution side, they've been really amazing. And so we have North American and UK, but I need to figure out the rest of the world. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know.
Oh, wow. It's such a challenge.
Yeah.
This era we're living in. It's just really hard.
This was cool, though, because Freestyle is one of Byron Allen's like companies, and they're trying this new thing where you can partner up with AMC theaters, and so they're trying out how to balance having indie movies like this along with like their blockbusters, and they were happy with the numbers, so I'm excited
so right
about that.
now
It's on VOD now as of Friday.
And it was in theaters?
Yeah, now there's like one more screening after this, but I think its theatrical is now done, and it's on streamers.
Yeah, well, it's great you got theaters at all, obviously.
I know,
you know, so
I'm
many
so
just don't.
grateful.
You know, that's what every filmmaker's dream is, just the idea of some people sitting in a darkened theater watching a movie.
Totally.
Yeah,
and they've been really great, and just some of these special ones like at the Music Box or here or wherever. So I feel very grateful for that.
Yeah, that's great. Here we go.
You mentioned a little bit about rehearsal, and obviously these are like pro actors, but you're mixing, but it didn't feel rushed. I mean, you said 25 days, which actually sounds long to me a little, or sounds healthy or responsible. But was it a table read, or were you trying to rehearsing on the day or the night?
Yeah.
Very authoritative with the direction and the acting.
Thank you. We did a Zoom reading of the script because of Pando. And so that was one thing that happened before everyone got there that was, I think, still really helpful, even though it wasn't in person. And then when everyone got there, we would just like get together and talk it out. But they're all so, like you said, they're very pro, and I really believe them as a family. We just had a couple of hangs where we were like talking about stuff, and I wouldn't say that it was necessarily running lines until getting to set, but it was talking about their dynamics in history and hanging out with each other. And there's one really sweet thing where Becky and John as a couple had very different ideas about what was going on. So John was like, well, they're just having a hard moment, but like she's coming back from Nashville, it's gonna be fine. They're just like married and having a hard time. And Becky was like, oh no, I think it's over. And
That's kind of perfect.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
And it was really sweet at this one meal where John was like, no, of course they're fine. And she just like looked at me across the table, and I was like, we don't need to talk about it. You could have your
Yeah, that's
idea.
good.
Like, I didn't want to
good.
like break his
Well,
heart, you know?
And how judgmental are actors? Like, okay, there's the behaviors and the judgment of people in this movie. I mean, I'm just now talking about what the movie's really about.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
But yeah, the utter complexity of these people, and, you know, how are they going, well, who's the bigger flawed, who's the more flawed
Right.
character or something? I love the complexity of that. It's like, he's kind of a dick, but I don't know. He's not, you know,
I know, right?
how bad a person am
Yeah.
I looking at? You know, I was like, I couldn't
Yeah,
figure it
yeah.
out, you know.
Yeah, that was one of the goals, you know, when we were writing it, was like,
It must have been.
let's make someone be very questionable and serious D-bag in this one way, but then like maybe pretty great as a dad, or in these other ways, maybe not perfect, but I don't know, like just don't make someone one-dimensional, you know,
Yeah,
so.
it's generational too, the layer of judgment and I don't know, the accountability maybe.
Yeah.
That one, because he's a profile, you know, here it is on, everyone knows about this, but they
Right.
don't know about, yeah. It's very, couldn't be more current, I guess.
Yeah, it felt like the dad and Will were on like a parallel trajectory of like a slow wake-up call. And then Josh and Becky's character were, you know, ready to like make some changes and not be stuck. And that was
Mhm.
fun to start to see as we were writing it and even editing it and stuff. It emerged more. It kept becoming more and more her movie too, which was kind of cool. Like, she wasn't the main character at the beginning. It was just about the brothers. And then at some point I was like, I don't know if we should be watching a movie just about these brothers, you know?
No.
The parents have to come in more too. And so they became a lot more interesting and had their own problems. And this whole idea of like coming of age at any age, sort of a theme. Because I feel like I know people going through stuff their whole life. And I like that this woman's kind of going to go back to singing, and she's in her early 70s. And it just was really fun to think about. And she was all excited about that too.
Yeah, it's rare you get a rounded character if you're at the extremes, too young or too old. They're just like, oh, you're just playing
Yeah.
you have a few funny lines, but you know, you don't really have a lot of, you know, character arc.
But it's
or
like she has a bunch of
possibilities or-
years left. Like, what if
Yeah.
she's just like, I don't want to live like this anymore, you know? And so I think she was really questioning all that.
Anybody else? There you go. Oh,
The house almost seemed like a character. Like some of the rooms were just so beautiful and well appointed, and then one was kind of in transition, and the basement was like a
yeah.
Right.
the house. Remembering
No, that was all. So that house was very hard to find, right? Because we needed it for 2 months, a month of like prepping it and setting it up, and then a month of shooting. So one of my producers found he'd like go to like realtors and find these houses that were either just sold or about to sell, and it was a lot of work. And then just for the right price point, because there were so many that we couldn't afford. But that one worked out great, and it might be one of the only cases in history where we improved a house, because
Yeah, most people.
it was like kind of a piece of shit, and like the
Right.
basement was very Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
And like that's where we set up our production office, which was hilarious. We'd be like going through this like eerie thing, and then everyone's like, hey. But then on floors 2 and 3 we did all this work, or the
Yeah.
floors 2 was where, you know, you saw the moldings, and it was really building a history of the family. Thank you for noticing that. That was like so fun to do. I feel like normally you don't get the chance to make production design be so essential, and it
Yeah.
was one of the goals for
So
this
you're
movie.
telling the story. Yeah.
Yeah, like the house had to be part of their whole history. It really is a character. And so the guy who moved in ended up keeping a bunch of that stuff that way. And yeah, it was pretty cool. He was like, thank you.
Do you think they did permanent work? Because movies come in and do everything cheap, not to last.
It was, yeah, I think
always
he
explain that.
stole
Oh, it looks
some
great.
ideas.
It looks great for about 6 months.
Yeah,
and
we
then
did
it's
tell
all going
him
to fall
that.
apart.
I think
if
he
not
probably
sooner.
kept some of the ideas or inspiration,
Yeah.
you know. But
Movies.
but he was really happy, and he would come visit set with his kid and
And
his
he had
wife
already bought the
sometimes.
house
Yeah, he
when
bought the
you-
house, and they were going to move
And then
in.
they gave us. Yeah, shot in houses where you need it for a long time, it's like most people, it's hard to
We
get.
would have had to put someone up, and then it would have been really hard to pull off just financially. This worked out really well.
Yeah,
So
what neighborhood was that?
in Irving Park.
Okay. Not that I know Chicago that well, but
Kind of, yeah, it's like a historic, cool, lots of old, beautiful homes and 2 flats like this. I mean, I don't know if that's lingo anywhere else, like a 2 flat. Does anyone say that like anywhere else except Chicago?
2 flat.
That's what we call them, those apartment buildings
London,
that are
a
2
lot of
stories.
flats over there.
Yeah.
That's kind of a.
But also, like,
UK
talking
thing.
about money was a thing that Kobe and I were interested in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people don't really talk about money enough in movies. They're always like these amazing, beautiful kitchens and like some crazy apartment in the West Village, and you're like,
Right.
that's bullshit.
It's always a cliche. Someone who doesn't have a very good job living.
So it's like,
$8,000 a month. That's everyone.
yeah, like let's leave the dirty awning
Yeah,
and
I like that they need to rent out. Yeah, it's like
like they need the money, and they're still depending on him for money. It's this interesting power struggle among the family, and having him be like helpful to them,
Yeah.
but also being kind of not the most amazing person sometimes.
He's the older brother. Yeah, it's just kind of that brother thing. I don't know. I like that. There we go.
It was, I think it came out to like $750 something. Yeah. And genuinely, a lot of that was the Airbnbs for these actors
It's
to
putting
be there.
people up. When you fly people in,
yeah.
it's transpo, it's per diem, it's
Yeah.
housing, it's meal. Yeah, it all adds up.
It does. It was like like each department. Production design was a big one though, making the
Yeah.
house nice. That was the first time I splurged on
Art department.
art ever. It was awesome. We like kept all the camera costs very low and got a deal from a camera house, and pretty frugal about that, and pretty much didn't have like a ton of lens changes or anything like that. So I felt like we wanted to splurge on the
One
house.
camera? Or did you
Mhm.
have 2? Yeah.
We had 2 cameras on the fight day
Okay.
when they're on the floor and having that stupid, clumsy brotherly fight.
Right. Yeah, you got to have 2.
But I think that was
Wow.
our
And you
2
produced, the house became your production office too?
Yes, we
for-
saved a lot of money on that
All
too.
the way through production?
Yeah, it was a sketchy basement, but we made it work. Spraying it down and adding some sound effects.
You had a question, yeah.
So when you were writing the script, did a lot of this stuff come from like the family dynamic films or TV shows that you might have grown up on, or did it come from like personal experience? Because the family thing was, I mean, the flow and the interaction between the actors was really natural and felt really, like I was on board immediately.
That's so awesome to hear. Thank you so much. That's like what we wanted to do, really, just make something really grounded and that felt lived in. And I don't know. I don't feel like I had seen anything totally like that. We just wanted it to sound like the ways that we would talk, or like each character having their own way of speaking, but that it still felt like funny and fucked up at the same time. And like, I don't know. It just felt really organic. Like they came in and slayed. I can't take credit. I mean, I'll take credit for casting, but and like editing and stuff. But I had a lot of good material. Like these people are all amazing, and they all said yes, and I was so happy because I just kind of knew beforehand that it would be like so fun to edit with all these great performances. Like there were multiple takes, and we'd always do what was scripted, and then maybe do a little improv, and it was hard to cut those moments because I was like laughing so hard while we were editing, but we had to. I didn't want it to seem too light, given some of the subject matter. I didn't want it to seem like straight up comedy, but it was really hard cutting some of those funny
I bet.
improv things. Honestly, I should find them and like
I
cut
know,
them
because they
together
do that. It's
now.
really funny on its own, but it's maybe too much for the
Mhm.
movie. It throws it off a little.
Yeah,
The
that was-
the actors aren't always the best gauge of what's too much, too little.
It
that's
was
in your
really
head,
funny
but-
too, and I just
But
was
it's
so bummed.
funny stuff.
Yes, and it was hard to cut those things, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of good material,
It's funny
like,
when you get a bunch of people together. They want to make each other laugh. They want to get. It's fun. It's
it
fun.
was great.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice, and yeah, I felt really lucky to work with these people. Honestly, they just all did such a great job.
But as far as like, what genre did you feel like you're in? Family drama. What films in your head? Sometimes you're into it. You're writing your script. You're making your movie. At what point do you go, oh, what genre am I in? What films are in my ballpark? Did you reference any movies did you guys watch any or talk about, okay, here's what we don't want to do, here's what we want, often it's
Yeah,
what
I mean,
you don't
because
want
it's
to do.
brothers, I
things
remember
that
we
have been
talked
done.
about
Yeah.
like the brothers McMullen, and we talked about like some Noah Baumbach stuff. We talked about like dialogue and stuff in your movies. This is kind of
Oh, really?
cool. And just like thinking about how do you balance this like comedy and drama, the line and the tone of it. That was another thing that was really tough, actually. It took me a while to edit this because, again, it was like writing that line and not wanting it to seem too much one way or the other. And this was the first time I did like a lot of screenings with different people. And sometimes would have the same people watch it again after a big gap of work had happened, just to make sure it wasn't like going off the rails and being too goofy and funny or too drama. We really wanted it to be a thing where you laugh a lot, but you're not necessarily thinking it's just like a slapstick comedy the whole time because of what's going on.
Wow, so it sounds like you're really shaping it all the way through in post, and you're really still writing your script kind of. via
Totally,
editing.
yeah, for sure. Yes. I
And
feel
it
like
is helpful
yeah.
to know people are watching, even if it's a small group of people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like those early screenings were so painful,
Yeah.
and just like noting
You got to put
where-
yourself through it.
Oh,
yeah.
so I have like serious PTSD.
See, if you can't
from
do
some
that,
of
you
those.
can't be a filmmaker.
Oh my God, yeah, like just
just
like
take it. You
and
know?
then like sometimes people are so mean, actually,
Yeah.
like
you
very
got to be able.
cutthroat notes, and you're like, oh man, it's a feedback screening, but you could be nice. I don't know. But yeah, no, those were super helpful. Those
Yeah,
those were
definitely.
really cringy and painful, but like so helpful. And then once it got better and fine tuning it, those were just like, okay, where does it feel like people are getting bored, and like should this be the beginning needs to be shorter so you get to this faster, that kind of thing. I mean, have you done that?
Yes.
Like where you show them, like show screenings of things?
I believe in screening it in the process. I like that, just to kind of see how I'm feeling, just
Yeah.
knowing other people are watching.
Like, do you do
editing
it on
room
each
can be a
movie?
bubble. Yeah, to whatever degree. This thing I'm working on now, I just showed it to about 20 people a few weeks ago.
Does it feel
Enjoyed
done?
that. Pretty much, yeah.
Wow,
We're
that's
getting
so
there.
cool.
Little cuts and little things, but
Oh my God,
it's more-
amazing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Cool.
I bet are we getting low on time? Lars is up here. Are we okay?
Probably about that time.
Yeah. Hey, if there's
Okay.
one last question for Haroula, anybody? Oh, in the back there.
I have a quick question. Did you give yourself a break between finishing? What was the break time between finishing shooting and starting to edit?
Oh, great question.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of breaks.
Oh, right.
I think breaks are healthy because I think it gives you a chance to look at it with fresh eyes. So there was like 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks between. And then it was just like the editor was making a very, very rough assembly. And then there's that period of like deep self-loathing after that. And then once getting to like a decent...
That first assembly viewing is
Oh, it's
usually
so
like...
painful. I want to go back to my former self and be like, it's gonna be okay. But it was rough. And then I think once we got to like a decent enough cut, I wanted to take another little break. Like, I think it was even just another week or two. I don't know. I just think I'm a fan of taking as long as you need in the edit. I'm probably not. I should work on that.
Yeah.
But
Well, everything has its own time.
Yeah.
Seems like you. Any more questions? Oh, you raised your hand. Oh, wait. Did you already ask one question? Okay.
Oh yeah, the end title song. And there was one other one that was like during some B-roll that was fun. Yeah, the composers, Zach Ray is in Death Cab for Cutie, and he was like touring a ton, and with that record that was having its 20th anniversary too. And then Oliver, who's my husband, also did some music, and his band Coco had a song in there, and just trying to make it all feel like it's from the same little like fabric of a world. I like using original songs. First of all, I couldn't afford Gilbert O'Sullivan or
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
whatever
expensive.
else.
Publishing.
It's just
expensive.
insane. So
Better
we're
to
like,
use friends.
like what's the BPM? Like, let's just do our own thing. What are the chords on this? I think it was like, there's another one that was like a Richard and Linda Thompson song, and I remember calling up. I didn't have a music supervisor yet, and I was like getting some estimates on stuff, and it was just, I don't even think I said thank you. I just like hung up the phone.
Well, that's kind of the only way they make money anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, you used to be able to get things a lot less expensive. You know,
Yeah.
now
So
it's
now
like,
I'm a fan. I like making original songs.
yeah, well,
So
it's in your wheelhouse.
yeah.
Easy. Did you any more questions? Well, speaking of breaks, I assume you're on one soon to be, right?
I wish I was
Between-
making another movie right now.
Right now. Well, what is next? You
Um,
have you have scripts and things?
Yeah, I got one that well, because there's like one that feels like it has to wait for certain things to get to a certain budget level or whatever, and that's just taking a longer time than anyone wishes. And then one that feels more like this, that could happen for like, under $1 million, and I
Right.
could hopefully, I mean, and I'm happy to talk about this too. Like, there's people in Chicago who like, there's a pool of people that invests money, not so that it's not one person taking a loss. It's like everyone invests in this one big pool of money, and then it goes to like a lot of projects. And they've
Wow,
helped me out
who organized that?
on the 2 that I've made. They actually helped on both of these movies.
Is that a producer organizing? What's
yeah,
that called?
it's called CMA,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Chicago.
Media Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously. I mean, they do that. They're like,
What
okay,
kind of
I don't even know
fun?
how
much?
many. There must be like 20 or 30 people, and they have like this whole like, I don't even know how much they have, but it's a little mysterious. But they have helped me on both movies, and they like to make it so that no one person is losing a ton. It's like
Right.
everyone puts in on like 15 movies or whatever.
Right. They just lose little bits. everywhere, so,
And
yeah.
ideally they make
That's
some
good. Yeah, of
back,
course, okay.
obviously. So it's like venture capital, right?
We're
I mean,
gonna
it's
have
like
Yeah. Well,
invest
we're
in
gonna have
20
our own
things
version
and-
of AMA, Austin Media Angels.
Well, I want to have like
coming up.
this. I want to have like a Chicago society that like helps people
Well,
with like.
Chicago's such a rich film
workshops.
town. Always has
It's just
been.
weird that doesn't totally exist yet.
But they have the theaters.
Yes,
The
there isn't like
the
a
culture.
There's not like
but-
grants and fellowships and things
Really?
like that the way you guys have, which is so cool.
Is it because it's maybe too professional? You know, a lot of film production. Is it
I
just
think maybe because there's like all those TV shows. I'm not sure. I can't get to the
Yeah.
bottom of this, but I want to.
yeah? Well,
I would
well,
like
one
to
more thing
figure
you
it
can
out.
do.
Yes,
in
but
the
yeah. So no,
future.
I have 2 movies, and then I have.
So it sounds like
you
one
know,
bigger one smaller one,
Yeah.
maybe. So
And by bigger, I wouldn't say it's huge. It's like a few
Right.
$1 million, but it's hard to find that. So
yeah,
they have to like have a certain amount of like names attached
Sure.
and stuff. And then the one that I want to just make, I have some people that I really love as actors who said yes, and they don't care that it's gonna be another scrappy thing. I guess philosophically, I'm like, do I want to do another thing that's like super low budge and scrappy, but it's either that or waiting forever. So I don't know. I don't know.
I say be ready to go with the super low budget scrappy.
Yeah, right. That's what I
With-
think too.
Will
have
Michael
a
come through with
baby
some
in there,
scratch?
you know.
Speaking of scratch. You're like,
No, and there's like new music and other things I want to do, but I
Yeah.
would love to make another movie soon. I just hate how you're really lucky, man. You get to make them back to back and stuff. I sometimes like,
low budget scrappy.
yeah. I just feel like it would be nice to have that muscle always like
Mm-hmm.
kind of in tune. And it sucks having to wait
Well,
so long. So
Okay, well, something tells me you're going to have another film
I hope so.
sooner between.
And I always
Then-
like making shorts or videos or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm like not that precious about this stuff. I just want to keep making stuff with people I
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah, and keep coming back here and showing what you
I
do
know this is
next.
amazing.